So here today, I am interviewing Miss Jade. She is a lovely client of mine, and we've been working together on the health and the business side. So we're gonna just answer a few questions so she can just explain her experience, the benefits she's had from working together, and tell her story. So Jade, if you could briefly introduce yourself and your background in holistic health, as well as what you do with your business.
Hi. My name is Jade Dior. I'm an intuitive reader, spiritual advisor, as well as a Reiki master. I started in the holistic health business, starting with my own personal journey, and it just led me down a path of realizing how I could help guide other women and other people along the same path as myself, because a lot of people struggle with the same things that I struggled with. And so it just opened the door for this whole purpose that I didn't even know that I had. Yeah.
Oh, that might help. So it's like your personal journey became like a window opening up some possibilities on what you could do professionally to help other people and guide them to get some of the same results you did. Okay,
Mhm.
beautiful. So I'd like to hear about what motivated you to get started working with me, both in Mother Goddess Matriarch and one to one.
Well, honestly, at the time before you had came to me, I was really like searching for guidance, like asking the divine to bring me someone to help show me the way, because I've been doing a lot of things on my own, but I felt like I needed to learn from somebody. And when I tell you, you literally dropped out of the sky, like in perfect timing. That's what made me know that it was so aligned, because I was just like, this has to be the answer to what I have been asking. And then when we got on the call together, the way that your energy was just very inviting and very calming and comforting. And then your knowledge as well, as like it showed that you knew exactly what you were talking about, how you could lead me to what I was trying to get to. Like I was sold, basically.
Beautiful. That's so amazing to hear on the other end when you set out to do something professionally after your personal journey with it, right? It's so parallel. And then you meet someone who is ready for what you have to offer. It's always just a kismet feeling. And so when you think about your experience to date, we've kind of been working, I think, around the 2 month mark now, somewhere in there. When you think about that experience to date, both in the group as well as working one to one in our health and business side, how would you describe your experience so far?
um I think it's been a great experience. I feel like I've learned a lot. It just feels good to like have someone who is helping guide you, because sometimes my mind can be all over the place. And the way that you explain things and the way that you put them, it makes it very easy to follow like a format of like, okay, this and then this leads to this. But also how you open up how your personal life is tied to your business life, and how having them all run like congruently together makes everything better. That really, really does help me. And the group as well, it's like hearing other people's perspectives and what everyone else has going on. It helps me like with my own personal journey, especially when we do the meditations and hearing everyone else's like what they got in the meditations, and just like it just gives you people to relate to in
Mhm.
a sense. I
Yeah.
got
So, like, maybe I'm hearing as kind of centering helps to bring structure, and there's like a community aspect to be able to talk to like-minded women too.
hmm
Okay. Could you share any specific techniques, strategies, or concepts that we have gone over that have really resonated with you or influenced your approach, be it like professionally or personally?
Definitely the scheduling, like getting your planners. Like I have a planner for everything now. I have a planner that's even for my food. I have a planner for my projects. I have a planner that's for the things that I've already completed. It's like everything has its own like regiment and planner. And it's helped me keep focus on certain aspects of my life. It's like I'm taking the things that I'm putting into the business, but also using them in my personal life and seeing how it's making everything like run more smoothly. As
Mhm.
well as like the yoga nidra. I had never even heard about yoga nidra. I do yoga every day, but I had never heard about yoga nidra. And those deep meditations are just like perfect for me
Mhm.
in a sense. They are really perfect for me. And I love how I'm able to go within and I can visually see. And in the way that you do them, it just makes it easier. And I definitely would like to use that in my business. I have somewhat like used it as far as like my Reiki meditations and using a bit of that as well. So I've been able to take some of those into my own business as well.
That is so comforting to hear because my personality, for the most part, I'm pretty easygoing, kind of a little quiet, actually, very grounded, earthy, a lot of water and earth. My fire comes out here and there. I am a Sagittarius, but mostly just when I need to correct some things, set some, but by and large, I'm working with my clientele. That is the more of the dominating energy is like the nurturing. But I think adopting that project management mindset, it was so powerful in my personal journey. And it is a journey. I'm still learning and working through that. But what I've been able to learn and then transmit, I think, in a very structured way has helped you. And I think others too. I was able to go and train a whole nonprofit staff on using project management techniques and mindsets, both professionally and personally. So that really warms my heart that, is something that stood out to be very helpful for you because it truly is coming from a genuine place of somebody who was like, I just go with the flow,
Right.
I'm a
Right.
being and I just flow, to learning that it's okay. Matter of fact, we can be more potent and powerful when we create containers, structures, routines, and schedules to house and help our flow to flourish, where I think what happens is like when we can set a container like that, like all the planners you're describing, which just makes me happy, we're actually setting intentions to the flow. We're
Mhm.
still flowing, but with a highly intentional, like structured way of being in that divine feminine energy. So have you noticed any other like or specific shifts in your mindset, approach, or practices since participating? Other than I think the project management mindset, were there any other shifts that you noticed?
Just being open to like flowing more and
Mhm,
allowing things to unfold because I can get real like do. You know what I'm saying? I
mhm,
get real regimented when it comes to spirituality. Sometimes I can be very like too structured,
mhm,
but it's learning to listen to my body as well as knowing when it's time to do certain things, when it's not time to do certain things. That has helped me a lot as well. Even like structuring my cycle and just knowing what times of the month I should do certain things and what time I shouldn't. That has helped me majorly because it's like I was fighting against it. Now I feel like I'm flowing with it.
mhm, mhm. So like being in sync with your body's natural rhythm has led
Mhm.
to like just better flow overall.
Mhm.
And that's a big thing I talk about, whether we're talking about health or your professional life, which to me they're so integrated, which is why we're doing both. Being in sync with your natural cycles is like not going against the current of your life, and we're such a ebb and flow cyclical being as women. Like it's so powerful to say, oh, it's the week before my cycle. The best thing for me to do is to slow down and understand that this is almost like the fall season where we're toning things down, we're more internally focused. We can focus on admin tasks and email marketing and really planning things out and getting quieter and quieter. And I think it's so powerful that you're really sinking into that way of being and living because every month we're
Right.
invited into a new cycle of creation, and if we go with that flow then we get to leverage it. And there's a powerful work, I forget her name, but the name of the book is Do Less. And when I read that book, it was just around this time where I was deeply into syncing with my cycle. I had just had my youngest child not that long ago, and my cycle came back. And so I had my cycle for the first time in like over a year. And it was like, oh, I forgot, what this is like, where literally your brain waves slow down the closer you get to your bleeding day. And you're invited to go deep within yourself, but also within the non-physical realms, asking for divine and ancestral guidance for your health, for your business, for your clientele, for all that you care for, all the people who are in your domain, but also just knowing that every month you get pregnant with something, not necessarily a baby. Most of the time it's not. So even if it's like a character trait, or a new habit, like we get pregnant with something every month. So I'm so happy that you've been able to really see the power of that. And so, in what ways have you integrated the concept of activating divine feminine power into your business, health, and overall life? Because this is a big, big part of what we talk about here, right?
Mhm.
And I think one piece that comes to mind of your journey is like in the beginning of working together, we spent a lot of time just pausing and learning how to be in that peaceful 0 point energy, to wipe the slate clean, not come into it with any preconceived notions, to create this really receptive posture so that we could receive as coach and client what was the guidance, what was the energy governing your success, and
Right.
really get immersed in that. And so you've had that piece, but also being inside this container, Mother Goddess Matriarch, where we're literally working on activating our goddess energy and our divine feminine power. So as you've participated in both of these things, how has that shown up for you? This concept of activating your divine feminine power in a different way versus when you first met.
Well, definitely with the flowing with my cycle was the main thing. Instead of seeing it as like a weakness,
Mm,
seeing it now as like it's just it's like an outline of how to help me live my life if I would just listen to it. You
mm,
know what I'm saying?
mm,
Rather than seeing it as like, oh, I hate this thing that happens to me every month. Why am I like this? It's just like, no, this just shows you how to help yourself with the things that you're trying to do, as
mm,
well as like the feminine archetypes and like learning that they're interchangeable. While yes, I may be, body wise on like a Saturn cycle, I can implement the other archetypes when I need to, because you need to have a healthy balance of them all. And so
mm,
now, as
mm,
we know, we talked, I'm currently in implementing the moon and learning how to be more open and more compassionate and empathetic, and tap into my emotions and open up some things with that. It's like I'm seeing myself go through these different phases of the archetypes, and
mm.
I like it.
And it's so deep because each phase of the cycle corresponds to a different feminine archetype. And so that moon energy, she's at that luteal phase, the week or two right before your period comes. The fall, the season, like late fall, is also corresponding to that energy. So it's all about the slowing down and preparing to fully descend and be fully internally focused, which is what the Saturn energy is like at the deepest part of winter. So when we're like in that transition between fall to winter, that's where we find the moon archetype. And so if we can conceptualize it as this seasonal energy that we can harness, whew, like you're saying, that's feminine power, where now every part of my cycle, be it your menstrual cycle or even the cycles of womanhood, where we're at when we're in our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, we're going to matriculate through different cycles and have different dominant energies depending on where we're at. And how powerful is it to say to yourself, like, I'm going to make not just peace, but power out of every season that I'm in, and deeply understand how to leverage it, how to activate it when I need it. And what's really the mastery of it all is learning what energy is actually needed for this or that. So, like you're saying, the Saturn energy, which is a more conservative energy, where you're really focused on a radical level of self care and your own destiny and your spiritual power. that energy is beautiful, but it's not necessarily the energy you want to bring to a client, depending on the work you do, right? But the moon energy, if for a woman who is consistently over functioning, over giving, doing the most, and not taking care of herself, she needs to spend some time in the other archetypes. So not only does this really support you personally, but as a practitioner, you'll be even more versed in quickly spotting what archetype your client is in, to
Mm.
say to her, ah, I see that you're dominant in this moon archetype, which has served you well up until now, but now you're transitioning into a new season in your life. Because more times than not, as practitioners, our clients are reflections, and they're just a few steps back from where we came from a lot of the time. So this process that you're going through of learning, how do we maintain where we want to be in our dominant energy, but also master other pieces of our femininity, it'll come in handy, because once you master it, you embody the codes, which then transmit to your clientele. And I just was reflecting on this today, how working with women is so powerful, because you help this one woman, but she's always a nucleus, and around her are the spouse, the friends, the family. And so I love that the work we do doesn't just help the immediate person, but it ripples out and it has this ripple effect to expand and really help the people around her. And not just that, but like DNA healing, ancestral, generational healing, where, when Jade heals, grandmother and all of the matrilineal line heals. And if you decide to expand and create more people, the future heals,
Right.
right? So I think that that 7 generations back, 7 generations forward always comes into my mind when I'm, I guess you say, leveraging each of these aspects of my feminine power, to know that when I elevate, my cousins, my mama, my clients, my daughter, my future grandbabies, like generations ahead, whether they be bloodline or spiritual legacy in my daughters, I get to elevate so much. So, for any practitioner that may be listening to this, what's so powerful about our work is that we don't just have bloodline legacy. We have spiritual daughters that we get to uplift and help. And then think about some of the things we've been talking about, like when you're developing thought leadership and you're becoming not just a social media presence, but somebody who's shifting consciousness. So when you create videos and workshops, books, courses, things that will outlive and outlast you, these will continue to shift consciousness in your spiritual legacy. So I'm so grateful that we both get to participate in that. Have there been any principles or strategies that you've learned from coaching with me that contributed to a greater sense of like synergy, unity, or ease? Whether it's your holistic practice, your personal practice, has anything contributed to just a greater sense of ease or synergy or cohesiveness in your life?
Um, Putting like my self-care first and tending to my like personal needs first, so that then I can be more present and stress free in the things that I need to do as far as business wise, is definitely, it's something that I'm still working on, but I'm seeing the benefit of it. And
Mhm.
I really do like it. So now I'm kind of like tend to me first, and then we'll tend to the other stuff. Because if I don't, then I ain't gonna want to tend to the other stuff, you know.
Mhm. And I remember in our pre-sales enrollment call, we talked about just wanting to find more ease in just getting up and being on camera, making yourself visible to your audience. And I feel like you can correct me, but I feel like that's happening, where because you're centering and you're in this new flow, like you have a more of an overflow to give from, which is
Hmm.
true.
Yeah. For
Mhm.
sure. Definitely. I can definitely feel that. I feel just more at ease. I don't have like that much anxiety when I'm about to make videos. I feel so like prepared and pumped, especially when I get into like my bulk filming mode. It's like I'm ready. I do this thing, I get in the mirror, I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's get it. Like,
Yeah.
because I have done the work to do my yoga, to drink my tea, to give myself time with myself before I even jump into that. It just helps me so much.
Yeah. And I think, you inspire me because we have this like relationship where on your side, you've done so much with platforms like TikTok and YouTube. On my side, I've done a lot with Facebook and Instagram. And like my focus has been what I call like deep marketing, deep heart
Mm,
marketing, where I'm always trying to build one-to-one relationships, go deep with that person, have a free call, really dive in, like deliver a lot of value on that call. And through that heart connection, we decide to move into this sacred container and we exchange that energy. Um,
right.
on your end, what I've been inspired by is like you put a lot of energy on just creating that content that's aesthetically pleasing. It's moving the viewer in a way where that now they want to follow you, they want to binge your content. Like to me, that's where you've brought that Venus energy into your marketing, and I've been kind of like on the moon side, right? And so I feel like I'm switching modes, and so are you.
And
We're
I'm definitely switching.
yeah, like we have an integrated picture. And it
Yeah.
was so beautiful how I was discovering that as we began coaching on my end. Like, oh, it's time for me to have more Venus style marketing. So today I went and I recorded a video for TikTok. And it wasn't just like something that else that I repurposed. Like it was
Mm.
TikTok. And I felt great. I did my little hairstyle and the energy was good. I felt fresh. And I was just talking from my heart about what happens when a door closes and another window opens. And so I think it's so cool that now we understand you can bring the feminine archetypes, which is really the blueprint for everything,
Mm.
into your marketing as a
Mm.
feminine business owner and CEO. And so I've been inspired by everything you've been able to build before we met. And so I feel like we were striking while the iron was hot, so to speak, to
Mm.
just bring in this balance to say, okay, now let's do some things where you bring in this moon energy, where we really learn this heart based style of marketing, where we're getting into one conversations, not as the only piece of the puzzle, but an added
Right.
pillar to what you've
Right.
already created. And that to me was really beautiful to just watch unfold. So, if you wouldn't mind sharing how the guidance and the support piece that you've received through the group, but also one have positively affected your journey, both personally and professionally?
Definitely with unlocking some of the things that I still need to unlock to move forward with what we recently talked about. It's definitely like shed a light on the way that our job or our purpose is helping other people, but in the midst of helping those other people, you will then open up and learn some more things about yourself that need to be addressed and how you could be moved forward. Like you said, it on a deeper level of healing other people, it's a deeper level of healing with ourselves. I'm learning that. And just like me opening up and sharing my posts and like being taking your guidance and being more like heartfelt and heart open when it comes to my posts,
Mhm.
it's like therapeutic. It's like
Mhm.
journaling in a sense. It feels like I'm journaling, like I'm releasing at the same time, but people feel like I'm helping them. I'm like, that's crazy because I'm helping myself. Like
Right?
it feels like I'm just helping myself. But it feels good to take some of the things that you're saying and realize like they really are helping me. Like they really are on a spiritual level, like for myself, they're really helping me.
Yeah, and my prayer is that you can take these principles. We have a coaching container, but then I feel like once the coaching container ends and we have like a full year all together, but after that is where the magic really happens, because either you transition into something different and bigger with your coach, or you start to fly free and solo. And either way, now you see integration happening, where you learn, you're like, oh, okay, I think this might work for me. And then it becomes a part of you, right? So those principles that will stay in place as you continue to evolve and grow as a practitioner, you won't always stay with the same subject matter. but the principle you're learning in the packages is really helping to, no matter what you do or how you grow, you can take it with you to support you. And I can speak to that because, like, a year ago, my main focus was birth and postpartum. I've been doing birth work since 2014. I have been in holistic health since 2010, but birth has been the highlighted. People knew me for that. And about a year ago, September last year, I was like in meditation because that fall equinox was coming. And this is always where I set my annual goals. And I heard so clearly Black women reversing PCOS. And I was like, what? What does that have to do with everything I just, what? But I look back over this year where I built this big Facebook group, over 1,000 Black women strong. I've totally pivoted professionally. Even my group program, Mother Goddess Matriarch, has pivoted, where it was just for postpartum mothers, and now it's for holistic health practitioners like you and me. And so this whole pivot is reflecting my own evolution, where I need to acknowledge, like, I'm past the birthing stage of my life. I have 3 beautiful children. They are getting older. I'm focused on just nourishing and sustaining what I've already birthed. But I've also birthed myself as a CEO, as a holistic practitioner, divine feminine practitioner, as a health coach. Worked very hard to deeply understand how to coach people through behavior change. So whether that is in business or health or spirituality, behavior change plays a part in all of it. And so I need to acknowledge, like, I've helped people coach through weight loss, through PCOS reversal, through diabetes reversal, through, achieving their wanted home birth after a vaginal birth after cesarean. A lot of great outcomes that I've coached people through. So I need to acknowledge that the common theme in that is coach. So now what I'm doing, it is very verbatim and obvious versus being more subtle in my offerings to my clientele. So I just say all that to say, when you pivot one day, like, come back to these resources, because they'll guide you. And okay, I'm gonna structure my new content. This is how I build an offer from scratch in a way that leverages divine guidance, is not just driven by the ego. you know
Mm-hmm.
So let's get to some specifics. What specific outcomes or achievements have you experienced as a result of participating, both on the health, personal, and business side?
On the health side, like I told you, that month with my cycle, it was after day 3, there was nothing. I've never experienced anything like that in my entire time of having cycles, where I didn't have to have a pad, a tampon, anything by day 3. That's unheard of for me. No vomiting, no dizziness, nothing. It was just different, but a good different. And personally, just making my life, run more congruent with my business, and making sure everything is like structured. I don't really like structure. I'm Pisces. I like to swim and do my thing, but I'm learning that to go where I'm trying to go, structure is necessary. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And my social media, my YouTube videos, the suggestion of doing the Reiki on camera, those are my most viewed videos. I have been getting comments from people all over the world about how they feel positively affected by my Reiki. Like it's mind blowing. There's hundreds of views. I'm talking YouTube now. That's not easy to do on YouTube, and this is authentic. I'm not even, there are no ads. I'm not pushing this really hard. This is authentic. So it's like I tapped into something that's like my thing.
Yes. Beautiful. Have you seen any influx in sales or reach since we started working together?
Definitely reach. My posts since been like, since what you said, to open up and be more authentic from the heart. Um 50 plus likes, 30 plus likes, comments where people are sharing their story, where I'm able to talk to them. I just got to take the step, like you said, to make those personal, contacts with them and message them and become friends with them. But I'm seeing how me really opening up and just being honest and from the heart, it's like it's like a magnet
Mhm.
in a sense. People are just like gravitating to me. And then I
Mhm.
find so much, commonality with them because they're going through some of the same things that I'm going through. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So it's just like, in a
Mhm.
sense, also still finding my tribe with me doing that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So what I'm hearing is that it's really made it easier for your target market to find you,
Yes.
because
Yes.
like by bearing your heart, it's like that lighthouse, like bringing them safely to shore, where they're like, oh wow, you have overcome what I'm going through right now. Wow, you're not just a pretty face or someone that is doing reiki on the internet. We have a million of those, but what
Right.
sets you apart is your lived experience. And so by doing that, again, it's a heart-centered form of marketing that really allows you to attract and bring in the soulmate client.
Oh yeah, and my workshop. I got 15 people to sign up for my workshop.
Yes, let us know that.
I
Yeah.
forgot to tell you that, but yeah, I took your advice. I did the workshop, and 15 people signed up, and they have watched the video, and I'm just like, wow. So like, they really like want to hear what I have to say. Like, wow, okay.
That's amazing. And like you said, we're not running ads. This is organic marketing.
Exactly.
Right. So that's amazing. And what's so beautiful about the way you are implementing this plan, when you understand what works, like your Reiki videos, like the workshop content you've put out now, like the post and the style of messaging that you're using, you keep using what you know works. And then if you want ad spend, you can put
Right.
behind what you've already proven to work. So I love that. And I think, maybe we'll run back around and do another interview post launching your offer. But
Hmm.
I think this is sowing some really powerful seeds for the new offer that you're getting ready to launch with. I won't say anymore, but that's exciting. Um, so, based on your experience, what would you say to someone who would be considering working with me either on the health side, business side, or enrolling in Goddess Matriarch or any group coaching program I may have?
I would say it's extremely beneficial. Like I say, the way that you tie in having your personal life in line, how it helps influence your business life, even if it's not a holistic health business, whatever, it's like whatever you have going on, you can take that same mindset and put it into anything. And it will help it because when you align yourself, it just makes it easier for everything else to run. And I love how you focus so much on structure and schedule and knowing yourself and knowing your body and moving in alignment with you instead of like what you think you should be doing, and more so going within and feeling what you should be doing so you're in alignment with self. I think that that would help anyone. It would help your holistic business. You could use some of the things that you're teaching and use it in their holistic business as well, add it to another part of their holistic business. But it also will just elevate not only your business but your personal life, and I'm saying this from my personal experience.
Hmm. And if you could speak just a little bit more to the womb healing part, because I have a lot of followers who have PCOS and different
Yes.
hormonal imbalances, I'd love to hear your take on that.
Definitely the tinctures, the teas, got my spearmint and oat straw tea. Drink this every day like clockwork. Okay. It has helped me. Like I told you, I had terrible cycles since the beginning of me ever having a cycle, passing out, falling out, crying, cramping so bad that I can't move, vomiting. All of these things have went away just from me adding in these the flower essence, the rose methania, like everything. And I'm doing it. I'm serious about it. You got to be serious about it now. If you're serious about it, I'm telling you, it's gonna work for you because I feel like it worked. I haven't even been doing it that long. Like you said, it's been 2 months. It's
Yeah.
been 2 months.
What's so beautiful is like I said, I've been in holistic health since 2010. So that means I've been working on me since that time, right? And everything I've learned, be it from personal experience, um, continuing education, or going to actually get certified in a different modality here and there. Research as well, heavy research. A lot of what I implement is also evidence based, but it's like a collapsing of time where now because I've spent we over what year we in? We over a decade in, right? Like, yeah, because we almost 14 years in here, right? Like you're collapsing time because I'm able to extract all the things that work best and say, oh no, do this. And so to me, that's the value of when you're working either just on the health side or health and business to really get pinpointed and targeted. Like we did an in-depth holistic health consultation. We went over lab work, systems assessment, symptoms assessment, everything for me to tell you like, okay, these are my recommendations for food, for herbs, for lifestyle changes, for exercise, all of it. We went over the entire holistic picture of your life to be able to achieve that result. So just going out to buy oat straw, for example, if we don't know your holistic health results and your assessment, we don't know if that's the targeted solution.
Right.
So that's why we're able to collapse time and get a lot done. Because that was what the first 30 days you gave me that news, and I was blown away. Like I
Yeah.
know it works, and damn it, it feels so good when someone else's life is just improved.
Mhm.
No, because what we're really talking about when those symptoms are gone is an increase in the quality of life, right? This is monthly. So how much energy do you get to save? And we're not just talking about the energy that is supplied and getting up and going. I'm talking about your life force.
Right.
This adds life. This adds years to your lifespan when you're not depleted. And that's really what's happening is depletion on different levels, whether it's hormonally or in the womb herself, which she's very intelligent. And so that's why we bring in remedies like flower essences.
Mhm.
Flower essences work on the emotional body, and every woman is so different. So for you, it might be rose. She might
Mhm.
use that flower essence and ally to really bring healing. For another woman, she might need to go pick up some white oak.
Right.
So being able to work with a seasoned and skilled practitioner is important. So you're not just wasting time researching or money buying remedies that you think would work for you because they work for somebody else. And I know we all can speak to that. Like, oh, such and such did this and it worked for her. Let me go buy that. So that is such a powerful result. And I'm so grateful for you sharing. Not every woman is comfortable sharing those types of things. So I appreciate just your transparency and your vulnerability to share with me and us, people who are watching. So is there anything else you'd like to share about your journey or the impact of your experience so far?
Like I said, I just feel like this is a great experience. I feel like it's divinely aligned. I got several hints from the universe that it was divinely aligned, and just like the further we go into it is just the more I'm seeing how divinely aligned it is and
Mhm.
how this was the perfect choice for me, and you came at the perfect timing. Even the things, the tips and advice that you give me are so in line with where my mind is already going about revamping my website, and then you come with it's time to rebrand. I'm just like, how does she know that this is where I'm at? It's clear that it's divinely aligned, and I'm just like happy that I found you. Or you found me, really.
I did. I found you. So I'm going to just say this, it's for you. It's not even for the people listening. Maybe it is. I had not had the initiation to come and find you and listen to the divine urging to reach out. All this magic would not have happened. So if you're not doing it, my love, go reach out to the people.
Yes.
All these wonderful people that are reflecting your vulnerability on your post.
I have a grocery delivery. I think they came a little early. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I heard you. Thank you for notifying me. Thank you.
That's
My
so
dog.
okay. Um, but yeah, I think that total interruption is right on point. Yeah, interrupt whatever is making you pause. So
Yes.
when you're in these beautiful, flowing, natural conversations in the comments, it is so natural to then say, hey, I felt like it was best to take this conversation to the DM because what we're talking about is so private. and
Right.
people are always receptive to that because they already feel that you're a genuine person.
Right.
Right. So then they love the spotlight shown on them in this. Wow, this woman on TikTok with over 10,000 followers on YouTube doing Reiki, like she's reaching out to me. That's how people feel.
Right.
She took time out of her day to make time to listen to me. Wow. I feel validated and heard and seen. And remember those powerful coaching outcomes, like the ones we're talking about today, they start with that one powerful
Yeah.
conversation. They really
Right.
do. So as we begin to get closer and closer to offering your new launch and offer, I want you to just get comfortable with that. Even if it's
Mhm.
one person a day, start there
Right.
where you're meditating, really listening, who should I talk to, and then
Mhm.
move and take inspired action, and let the inspired action move you. Because when you do it that way, it never feels forced. It doesn't feel disingenuous. Like people are always very open and very happy to hear from me. It's never like, girl, I don't
Right.
get it. Like it's very, very, very rare that I'm getting a negative reaction to outreach to someone one to one. And when it does happen, that's time for me to check in with me.
Mm.
Am I moving from inspired action or have I gotten into a rut? Do I need to go back and revamp something? If I see negative feedback at any point in my client journey, from the beginning in the pre-work of really building connection to connecting and then offering my offering to them, to executing that offer, and even into the exit, because you got to plan that too, where when you're done with the offering, because we're going to have some sort of time frame on things, what does the exit for them look like? It should have an interview or a survey, something that really marks and celebrates the work you've done with that person. And so no matter where I'm at in this client journey, if I see negative feedback, it's time for me to check in with me, you know. So I mean, I was really in a rut, and communicating and connecting with people was feeling just forced at one point, and that was about a year ago when I made this pivot.
Right.
It was time to stop talking about postpartum, and I just wasn't receiving it yet. That guidance, I wasn't open because I've been doing it so long. I had built this whole coaching program. Who wants to dismantle all that and start
Right.
doing? I mean, the coaching audience I had was full of postpartum and birthing people and nursing people. A lot of women with PCOS are infertile. They don't match that message. So I had to build a whole brand new audience from scratch. And it was like, whoo. But what I've done is reconnect with the blueprint of how I do business, which
Mhm.
is then what I'm transferring to you and other women. So if I hadn't accepted that challenge, we wouldn't be here, right? So even if you get negative feedback, don't take it personally. Look
Right.
at it as like data.
Right. Research.
Yeah,
Research.
like,
Yeah.
oh snap, it's 444 over my end. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I truly, truly appreciate, just taking the time to have this conversation. We'll loop back around when you've been with me a little longer, but I'm proud of you for just taking these steps because it takes courage
Mm.
to open your heart and be transparent and really practice authentic heart-centered marketing, but you're already seeing the results, right? Yeah, and I think just seeing that bump in your reach, the bump in views, really building these deeper connections are wonderful outcome-based results that show you like it's worth it.
It
It's
is. It is. It
Yeah,
is.
like you said, even on the personal side, because we can get a little stagnant in our personal journey when we're working professionally with others, because
Mhm.
a lot of that energy gets siphoned off to other people to sustain them in their containers. But when we do it this way, and it's very structured, and we're integrating that time for our spiritual development, into our schedule is not being left behind, but also using the client work as another rites of passage for us spiritually, then
Right.
we continue to evolve because you will always find clients. Some will be there for a season. I've had clients, we worked together for 3 months and whoop, that was it. I've had people that I was really just meant to talk to one time. They just needed one conversation with me. I've had people that came to me for one intuitive reading and that was it. But I've also had clients that have been with me for 4, 5, 6 years.
Mm.
Okay. And I call those your soulmates. They like matriculate with you. As you evolve, they come on, like, oh, that find my space wherever you at, I'm gonna be there. And if you don't continue to grow, you'll stagnate and you won't be able to help the women that want to stick with you for your long term and the longevity. So I'm glad you're putting these pieces into place because my view is also just thinking about you as I would my own child. Like, how do you want the long term view
Mm.
of you as a practitioner and how this business as a vehicle that you're doing things through, like what do you want that business to yield to you, what lifestyle, what outcomes, etc. So we're on our way there. I appreciate you sending so much love, and again, thank you so much for just taking time out.
Yeah, no problem. Of course.
I'll talk to you soon. Have a good day.
Bye.